forward position of Ras Lanuf itself, they're very much on the defensive at the moment.
Yeah, and the problem for them is that they're inexperienced as soldiers, and their equipment can't compete with the kind of equipment that Gaddafi's forces have, including the warplanes.
Well, it's really in the air that the difference is felt. On the ground, the rebels have no shortage of weapons. They have plenty of Kalashnikovs, they have heavier guns, they have surface-to-air missiles, they have anti-aircraft missiles, they have multiple rocket launchers. We've seen all this equipment along the road between Brega to Ras Lanuf, and even further down the road from Ras Lanuf towards the front line of Bin Jawad. But it's in the air that there is the real difference. The rebels are really sitting targets. This is very exposed terrain. The heavy weapons in particular can be seen from the skies. And so on any clear day, any day where there is good visibility, the Gaddafi warplanes are out. The rebels become incredibly panicky, edgy as soon as they hear the sound of the planes. We see people jumping onto pickup trucks and flying off back towards the east in retreat, only to return with more bravado as soon as the airstrikes are over. But this is why the rebels have time and again called on the international community to impose a no-fly zone, an appeal which so far has not met with a positive response.
And just quickly, Jackie, I mean, in the early days of this conflict, there was a mood of buoyancy, of optimism, of bravado, as you call it, among the rebels. Are you detecting a change?
No, there is still huge optimism, a huge sense of patriotism and enthusiasm in the rebel camp. Despite the fact that they haven't advanced significantly in the last 10 days or so, we are still seeing a lot of volunteers coming to the front line saying that they want to fight. Above all, they are armed with a conviction that they are fighting on the right side, that they are fighting a justified fight to rid Libya of Muammar Gaddafi.
Jackie, thanks for that. Jackie Rowland in AlJazeera there. Let's speak to Ibrahim Shakir, my guest in the studio, director of the Brookings Centre here in Doha. Let's go back to this, these negotiations that are going on. Now, one of the things that has been said is that Gaddafi may be looking for immunity from prosecution. But the problem is for the National Council that the International Criminal Court is involved. So that can't be guaranteed, can it?
No, and that's exactly the implication here for the legal aspect of the offer that AlJazeera has made, and to what extent this is legally can be binding, whether it's for the current transitional council or for the future leadership of Libya. Nevertheless, I think Gaddafi is missing an opportunity by letting this go of this offer that's made, for him to leave within 72 hours. And it's quite a very generous offer, although again, with the legal implications and whether to what extent this is applicable. But nevertheless, with this offer and the guarantee, a public guarantee made by AlJazeera is not to pursue Gaddafi after his departure. This is a very generous offer, and probably to what I see now is that Gaddafi is not really learning the lessons from Mubarak and or from Zain Abidine Ben Ali.
Well,
because
we don't know what Gaddafi's official response will be to that, although Libyan State TV has said that it's all absolute nonsense. But I'm interested in what those closest to him may make of the fact that he may be negotiating an exit strategy for him, because it seems as though it's only him and his family he's talking about. So those left behind may not be terribly happy about being excluded from the deal.
That is absolutely right. And I doubt that Gaddafi, the person, is the one who's making the decisions at this point. And even we heard a statement yesterday saying that Saif al-Islam has been running the country for the past 4 years yesterday. And actually what I think now is happening within the Gaddafi circle is that the ones around him, and in particular his children, his family, are the ones who are making the decision. Because it's not really for al-Gaddafi now. Al-Gaddafi Gaddafi is a very old man, and it's really about the family, the sons, that they see that now they have to deal with the ICC, and they have to deal with a possible no-fly zone or possible military attack. So this is the psychological warfare that the international community has launched lately, and the likelihood that we are talking about possible airstrike and possible no-fly zone, this is what's going to pressure his family and to help in the decision-making process and where they're going to be next. So I think it's a complementary approach that the statement or the offer made by Abdul Jalil. Now, to complement this, the international community should intensify the pressure, the psychological warfare on the circle around Gaddafi to help in the final decision-making process, and of a decision for him to take advantage of the offer and leave. Otherwise, he will end up like Mubarak and Zain Abdi, keep missing the target and keep missing the opportunity that's offered to him, and to be able to take advantage of that and use it. Because I think if within 72 hours we will be having a different conversation if he doesn't take the offer, and then we will talk about a higher ceiling of demands by the opposition, and then Gaddafi will go back to the offer and will continue, will follow the same trajectory that he followed by Mubarak and Zain.
Well, I think we're waiting to hear an address from Gaddafi at some point today, but for the moment, thank you very much indeed, Ibrahim Shakir there.
Thank you.
Well, a lot more coming up on the News Hour, including a massive bomb attack in Pakistan's Faisalabad city, and it may be linked to the 2009 attack on a Sri Lankan cricket team. At least one inmate has been killed and dozens more injured during clashes with police at a prison in Sana'a, the capital of Yemen. Around 2,000 prisoners have joined protests across the country, calling for the removal of President Ali Abdullah Saleh. AlJazeera's Hashim Albra has more.
Plumes of smoke billowing from the central prison in the capital. Violence broke out when inmates started chanting anti-government slogans and denouncing President Saleh. Security forces fired tear gas. The whole area is sealed off by security forces amid mounting tension in the capital. The popular movement for change has entered its fourth week, and the resolve of the protesters remains strong.
I think after Tunisia and Egypt, we are very optimistic that change will come to Yemen. I mean, after 30 years as a president on Yemen, it's time to change.
They know that the fall of the regime may depend on a complex interplay of factors, like the role of the army, the tribes, and the opposition. However, they are very confident that they continue to inspire people to take to the streets. They might be able to achieve their goal in the weeks to come.
Calls for dislodging the president are widely ignored here in the parliament. This session is boycotted by the opposition, which accuses the parliament of rubber-stamping presidential decrees and decisions. President Saleh's General Congress Party is already showing cracks. At least 15 MPs